Thank you. So we gather here today from Washington and Idaho. Anybody from Washington here? We gather here today as Muslim and Jew, as Christian and non-religious, as black, brown, white, young and old. And we stand together to raise our voices against the immigration ban issued by the president of this country. So this ban is irrational, it is unconstitutional, and it harms men, women, and children. And make no mistake, this is a religious ban. The 7 nations that are banned from traveling here are majority Muslim, and the ban gives preferential treatment to non-Muslims. And so this is religious profiling. This is religious bigotry, and we need to say that. This is unjust, it is unloving, and it is un-American. It is wrong, and it will not stand. And so we take heart yesterday of the judge's ruling, and we celebrate today. Today's a day of celebration. And I just want to tell you something. In the last 4 cities in which I've lived, in Cincinnati and Chicago and Tucson and Minneapolis, they're all sanctuary cities. I just moved here from Pullman. I'm just saying. All right. And so we take heart. And we have a message. We have a message to share with our senators and representatives that we don't want a ban, we don't want a wall, we want liberty and justice for all. The time has come for Congress to listen to the majority of the people of this land. The time has come to end the scapegoating and this irrational fear. One is more likely to be killed by a toddler with a gun than a terrorist in this country. We need to stop the fear-mongering. Since 9/11, about 800,000 refugees has come to this country, and not 0 has killed an American citizen. We need to stop the fear-mongering. Out of the 7 banned countries, for decades, of all the people that have moved here from those countries, none have killed an American citizen. We need to stop this fear-mongering. It is irrational. For years, over 11 million undocumented immigrants have lived and they have worked in our fields, they have worked in our hospitals, our nursing homes, and our restaurants, and they have come here to escape violence and poverty, to find a better way of life for their families. And these immigrants are overwhelmingly law-abiding people. They contribute to society, they contribute to our economy, and they create more jobs than they take, folks. They contribute, they pay taxes, they pay into Social Security, even though that many of them will never receive these benefits. And so these men and women and children and their rich cultures are beneficial to this nation, and we need to stop the fear-mongering. Instead, we need to love our neighbor as ourselves. We need to love our immigrant neighbor as ourselves. We call upon our government to a higher standard. We call for humane borders and not bans and walls. We call for hospitality and not xenophobia. We call for less fear and more love. The purveyors of fear and scapegoating are tearing this nation apart, friends. And for the sake of us all, for the sake of our children and our children's children, this needs to stop. Not only is this a waste of our precious resources, not only is this immoral, but these policies simply incite more hatred and resentment, and they make us a less secure nation, and it has to stop. The hate speech and the bigoted policies lead to hateful actions and to deadly results. This past month alone, there have been 5 attacks on mosques in North America alone, including the horrific murder and the wounding of more in Quebec City by a white nationalist with an assault rifle. And the administration has been silent. This is shameful. This is a moral outrage. And we, the people, are here to say that we will not be divided. Last week, a mosque in Texas was burned to the ground by an arsonist. A cruel and cowardly act designed to intimidate and terrorize his faith community. Now that night, after their house of worship had been burned to the ground, members of the local Jewish community went to the imam's home. Now we're talking Muslims and Jews here. And they gave the imam the keys to the synagogue so that they would have a place to pray. Friends, this is the real America. We will not be divided. We will stand together, and we will not allow fear to govern us. We don't want a ban. We don't want a wall. We want liberty and justice for all. With me, we don't want a ban. We don't want a wall. We want liberty and justice for all. Again, we don't want a ban. We don't want a wall. We want liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Many religions, many faiths, one golden rule. That's what we stand for today. As well,